It's a lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. Today, the 29th of September 2021. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news tonight. The D.E.C. told to bring Lungu's case to its logical conclusion. The UPND'S stance on CADRES in markets and bus stations annoys stakeholders. Authorities challenged to conclusively investigate the issue of gassing. In international news, Nigeria's army killed 20 fishermen in an airstrike. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO off to Senegal for an international training camp.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
You can also participate via Zoom at 300 kwacha per day.
Make your payments through mobile money for MTN 096 296 5883, for Airtel 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325, Stanbic Bank, Kablonga branch.
For those living abroad, make payments via Wild Remit. The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Hello once again, another news in detail. Residents of Solwezi have lamented over the poor quality of roads being constructed in the district. They feel the roads have not been durable, adding that it amounts to waste of taxpayers' money. Solwezi Municipal Council signed a memorandum of understanding with Kansanshi Mining PLC, where a total of 8.5 million kwacha, part of its tax contribution, has this year been directed to go towards roadworks. Solwezi Municipal Council has since commenced construction of Kiakwanka Road and 4 connecting roads into the T5 Independence Avenue. Alex Chishimba reports.
The poor quality of roads has been a persistent issue that Zambian citizens have continued to cry foul in some parts of the country. Residents of Solwezi have added a voice in condemning the poor quality of roads in selected parts of Solwezi district. This follows a commenced construction of Kiakwanka Road and 4 connecting roads into the T5 Independence Avenue, a project costing 8.5 million kwacha from a total 63 million kwacha, an amount payable to the local authority by Kansanshi Mining PLC. During an interview, residents air out their displeasure.
The roads themselves leaves a lot to be desired. I think, why are we operating as if we do not know how government operates? This is a source of worry. If we are calling ourselves as engineers, we are supposed to make something quality. This one is far from it being called a third road. This is not a third road. This is the same as having a gravel road. So I want to implore the council through the mayor, let us not work with political instructions. The new Dawn government has put it straight that people should do not with political instruction, rather should work with the rule of the law.
So anema mutarapa mukwako, especially ba MP mupichire ngako ngejuba jaji kamwaya mwamo na byoba ingira ne drainage kafu amone bano nishikike karabye mamukwako kayura ngatume mafuru nishi byonse byenge mvura yamu no musorwezi byonse bibisa kufuma.
So I'm sure we won't have to be spending a lot of money on repairing our vehicles based on the status in which the road was. Although I just have a concern looking at the quality of the road. It may not last and it may not serve for a period of time. So we're hoping that maybe the standard could be improved. But it's a good initiative, and we hope that it will also touch other how she got to Solwezi, because the status of...
Meanwhile, Solwezi Town Clerk Luanga Bonwell has confirmed the road construction, adding that it is set to be completed in 2 months' time. The road construction is based on a memorandum of understanding between Solwezi Municipal Council and Kansanshi Mining PLC. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Solwezi.
Information and Media Minister Cassandra Chushi has expressed sadness over the fire incident where United Voice Radio was gutted in the early hours of Tuesday, the 28th of September 2021. Speaking to the media when she visited the station, Ms. Cassandra, who could not establish or quantify the help she will render to the station, has assured of her unwavering support to make sure that the station is back on air. Meanwhile, United Voice Radio Station Board Chairperson Dr. Lodwell Siame is grateful for the moral support received so far. We have more in this report.
Imagine waking up to the news that your workplace, the source of your bread and butter, has vanished due to a fire whose cause is unknown. This is the case of United Voice Radio Station workers, whose station was brought to its knees due to a fire that swept through the whole station, leaving all broadcasting equipment to ashes. The incident, which happened on Tuesday, 28 September 2021, has resulted in the indefinite closure of the station. Information and Media Minister Chushi Cassandra has joined calls for help, stating that the station will receive help until it gets back on air.
I would like to sincerely convey to the people of UCZ, the nation at large, our solidarity for what has just happened. Indeed, it is something that was not expected, and the reason for the fire has not been established yet. So my appeal to the people of Zambia, my appeal to the well-wishers, is that may they come on board and help this institution, help this church to get back to where they were. As we have seen inside there, the only thing that they were able to pick up from there was a Bible and a piano. Besides that, the place has been gutted completely, and it is only our wish and hope that the people of Zambia will come to their aid.
Meanwhile, United Voice Radio Station Board Chairperson Dr. Lodwell Siame is grateful for the moral support received so far.
Indeed, you've shown you're a parent, because a person that can come through for you at a time such as this, I'm sure that you know that this is a true friend. And us as United Church of Zambia would like to congratulate you and also your government, and also look forward to the support that we can receive from well wishers, and for your personal contribution that you intend to bring to this station. We are really grateful. Our prayer is that may the good Lord bless you and bless all of us.
United Voice Radio Station is owned by the United Church of Zambia. The station was officially launched in August 2015 by the first Republican president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, whose mission was to proclaim the gospel of Jesus to the community. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The statement by the United Party for National Development, UPND Lusaka Province Chairperson Obvious Mwaliteta, that the party will set up branches in all parts of the country, including bus stations and markets, has continued to annoy traders and bus drivers operating within Lusaka's Central Business District. Mr. Mwaliteta made these statements Sunday during a media address, stating that the CADRES would, however, not be allowed to collect levies from people operating within these areas. He, however, went back on his statement, saying his views were misrepresented by some media houses. In an interview with Camnet News, bus drivers and market traders operating from city and Soweto markets fear that the said CADRES will again begin soliciting levies from them should they be allowed anywhere near these facilities. We have details in the following report.
For many years, Zambian citizens operating in bus stations and markets have resented the idea of political party cadres being found at these facilities, as they have been collecting levies from them, which are meant for local authorities. Traders and bus drivers have been complaining that they are sometimes subjected to double levies, as they have to pay to local authorities and to cadres, who harass them should they refuse to pay. President Hakainde Hichilema announced that this trend will not be allowed in the new Dawn government and instructed for all political party cadres, regardless of political affiliation, to be flushed out of these places across the country, including markets.
That my cadres will have branches everywhere, including the markets. The only thing they want to do is to take charge, to take the responsibility of the council. But our branches will be there because we're a political party with numbers.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Mr. Garin Kombo, was on hand Tuesday to clarify that this hinges on the freedom of association.
To this association of churches, political parties, and any other grouping existing in these facilities, and that they will not, underlined, they will not have anything to do with the running of these facilities.
However, traders and bus drivers at City and Soweto markets in Lusaka have received these statements with displeasure, stating that cadres should not be allowed anywhere near markets as they will soon begin demanding levies from them.
It's fine.
Meanwhile, a University of Zambia political scientist, Mr. Innocent Masiku, says the UPND should only speak one voice against cadres being found in markets if they truly intend to end this vice.
If they are not well coordinated, we have a situation where this particular leader says this, the other one comes and says a different thing. He was very clear about the issues of cadreism. So it is important that even the other leaders of the party are able to follow what the president said.
He asked that the resounding victory for the party in government during the just ended general elections indicates that citizens want to see things done differently. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In a related development, United Party for National Development, UPND National Youth Committee member Vincent Siandiebe has assured all UPND members that were chased from bus stations and markets by the Patriotic Front cadres that they will get back to their shops and trading spaces. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Siandiebe says the UPND is aware that the PF cadres are still holding on to shops that they grabbed from the UPND members when they were in power. He adds that the declaration by President Hakainde Hichilema to end cadreism in the country does not only apply to the UPND members but also to the PF members, hence the need for a thorough cleanup in all public places.
So we know very well that once the UPND Muma market because of very support the UPND, we are going to clean up and develop Muma shops here because we've been receiving too much report that we have never shops number, but if we work in shop here and they were PF now we can tell shops. Yeah, we were the folk mama since we are under capitalism, them buy at the Patema shop here. And the other thing that Muma companies, the PF, they are holding big positions. So we know very well that whenever pang out to the groups, by UPND they suffered 20 years more position. And this time around, we know very well that we'll clean up the system and everyone for UPND will be happy.
The National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NACEZ, has expressed disappointment over people alleged to be UPND cadres who yesterday locked up various government offices under the Ministry of Education in the Central Province. Officers locked include that of the Provincial Education Officer, the District Education Board Secretary, the District Education Standards Officer, and the Human Resource Officer at Kawe District Education Office. Nake's Provincial Secretary Dr. Justin Kabungo says the move taken by the purported CADRES has great potential to affect the delivery of quality education in the province, as the affected officers are now traumatized and may not perform their important duties effectively. He has since urged any aggrieved individual or group to follow the laid-down procedure in airing their grievances and desist from taking the law in their own hands.
People alleged to be UPND cadres locked up offices of the Provincial Education Officer, PO, the District Education Board Secretary, D.E.C, the District Education Standards Officer, D.E.C, and the Human Resource Officer at Kabwe District Education Office and the Provincial Office. As an organization that advocates for quality education in the province, we greatly feel that the move taken by the purported cadres have great potential to affect the delivery of quality education in the province, as the affected officers are now traumatized and may not perform their important duties effectively. Under the new Dawn government, and as repeatedly emphasized by the Republican President, the era of cadres beating and locking public service offices should be long gone, must go with the previous regime.
Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has reaffirmed government's commitment to promoting good governance, job creation, lowering the cost of living, and ensuring that the rule of law is retained in the country. The head of state was speaking when former British Prime Minister Tony Blair paid a courtesy call on him Wednesday at State House. President Hichilema adds that his government will also ensure that bilateral ties between Zambia and the United Kingdom are strengthened, as the two countries have come a long way.
We've had together, and if there's any way my institute can help, we would be delighted to do so. I think it's a very exciting moment for the country, and it's been frankly a great privilege and honor to come here and speak with you and your team.
For our youth, who put us in office, for our women, rural women included, for clean water. That's what will make our people have job, not just job, but self-employment, if I may say so. Business opportunities. It is trade and investment. It's an economic road platform we want our relationships to be built on. And we understand your institute is doing good work. Bradford and I visited your institute sometime in the UK. And you were, I think, out traveling at the time. So we had a good conversation. So we'd like to see if there's something we can do in our quest to make the lives of the people of Zambia better. As Prime Minister, you did many things well. But as you left office, I think you picked a lot more things on how things can be done better. We want to avoid reinventing the wheel here. We want to learn from the things you did better, the things that are done better in other countries, so we can accelerate benefits which we deliver or intend to deliver to our people. So that's important to us. But also because in your institute now you are interacting with various governments, lots of changes that have taken place in the world, global issues, climate issues, global climate issues. The importance of making sure that we run what we run, business we run in an environmentally acceptable way, so we can support the generations of the future, even before they.
A governance activist, Sam Zulu, has charged that the failure by the police to find those who have been spraying unknown chemicals on citizens in incidents which have come to be known as gassing is giving the criminals more confidence to continue terrorizing citizens. This follows a case of alleged gassing of pupils from Wiantanshi Technical School in Chingola, where it has been reported that over 100 pupils were sprayed with unknown chemicals Tuesday morning. Mr. Zulu says the police should be ashamed of not being able to tell the nation who is behind these incidents, stating that all necessary changes should be made in the police service to ensure that they work efficiently and give Zambians the answers they want. We have more in the following report.
Only 1 year after the country witnessed a series of incidents where unknown people were going around people's homes and public institutions spraying unknown chemicals, the perpetrators seem to be at it again, following the suspected spraying of pupils from Wiantanshi Technical School in Chingola Tuesday, where over 100 pupils have reportedly been affected and hospitalized. Speaking to Camnet News, A governance activist, Mr. Sam Zulu, says this is a matter that should be actively followed by state and investigative institutions in the country for it to be concluded. He adds that the recent incident shows that criminals have nothing to fear as they feel that they cannot be brought to book, hence threatening the peace and security in the country.
Let me take up this opportunity to adopt the position taken by the Judiciary and Allied Workers Union of Zambia in asking all investigating agencies of government to take investigations of matters of a criminal nature seriously. The country is waiting for results. The country is extremely expectant, especially that these incidences have affected a lot of people, and as such they want life, or we would demand that life returns to normalcy in this country.
In 2020, when the country experienced similar cases which came to be known as gassing incidents, suspected gassers were apprehended by members of the public and set ablaze in acts of mob justice. The governance activist asked that if not well managed, the country may begin to see this trend resurface, which would destroy the image of Zambia as a peaceful nation and may even have the potential of discouraging investors as they seek to invest in countries that enjoy a peaceful atmosphere. Mr. Zulu has therefore called for further changes to be made in the police service to see the issue of gassing reaching its logical conclusion to the satisfaction of citizens. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Mines Minister Paul Kabuswe has advised the youths to form cooperatives and get licensed by government as they operate on the dump site commonly known as the Black Mountain. Addressing the media Wednesday, Mr. Kabuswe explains that the Black Mountain operations should be made legal to ensure that many people benefit and not selected individuals as was in the past. He notes that the United Party for National Development Administration has placed inclusiveness in all sectors amongst top of its agenda. The minister also says that the ministry is keen on talks with the Small-Scale Miners Association, commonly known as JERABOS, to establish how well they can operate the dump site within the confines of the law established for small-scale miners.
This to protect our youths, and we are reorganizing the dump sites, including the Black Mountain, so that our youths can benefit. The key is that small-scale miners must benefit, must have a fair share or a fair shot at mining from the various dump sites that are dotted across the country. We know that the mining, methods and mining technology has actually advanced. So we want to urge our youths to take advantage and begin to do these activities. What we want to avoid is, number one, only the same people benefiting or same families benefiting. What we want is a cross-section of our youths to be able to benefit from, the dump sites that are dotted across the country. I want to say this to our small-scale miners and the youth. When this activity begins, please, that is, what we call in mining that a wasting resource, meaning at some point those dump sites are going to be depleted. So when you raise the money as small-scale miners, as the youth, make sure you put those monies together so that now then we can, go to begin explorations on small-scale minings. We partner together. For me, those dump sites should be used as a way for our youths to raise enough capital. When His Excellency the President was campaigning, one of the things he said was, we are going to bring sanity to the way dump sites are being mined. And this is exactly what the New Dawn government is doing, is to bring sanity to the way that we do small-scale mining. Now,
meanwhile, the Federation of Small-Scale Miners Association of Zambia has developed a craft code to promote responsible mining among small-scale women miners. Federation Vice President Pastor Pauline Mundia says the code seeks to instill sustainable and accountable mining approaches, such as adherence to paying taxes to the government. She says the craft code developed in partnership with the Vito Game also discourages child labor in the process of mining gemstones. We have more in this report.
Small-scale miners have been having challenges to effectively trade on the international market due to a number of reasons, among them non-adherence to best practices such as tax compliance and the issue of child labor in mineral processing. The Federation of Small-Scale Miners Association of Zambia, in partnership with Virtue Gem, has developed a craft code to promote responsible mining among small-scale miners in Zambia. Federation Vice President Pauline Mundia says they are committed to providing capacity to small-scale miners, especially women.
Artisanal and small-scale miners in Zambia have been complaining that they are not able to access international investors who are able to partner with them so that they are able to develop their mining operations. So as such, the Federation of Small-Scale Mining Association of Zambia and the Association of Zambian Women in Mining, in collaboration with Virtue Gem, have developed a crafty code. And this crafty code is able to give guidelines on how the artisanal and small-scale mining operations could be able to carry out responsible mining. When I talk of responsible mining, it is about not engaging child labor, being able to pay tax to the government, and also having the best PPE for your workers, not taking into consideration the need for safety for the workers.
I spoke to Evelyn Somaili, a beneficiary of the initiative based in Southern Province in Mapatizia, to get a perspective.
This is very timely because what Virtue Gems is doing is exactly what us as small-scale miners have been trying to access. Responsible investors as well as good international markets, of which we have failed because of our standards we have not adhered to international standards. So knowing that the Virtue Gems will be a perfect partner in us achieving that, we are grateful. Even for the way they have emphasized on the need of uplifting the standard of women. Because women, it's not all of us that can be at the highest form of leadership. But even here in the mining industry, we need women to participate because as we believe here at Cameraooon Limited, the women are also equal to the task. That is the reason why even our company has embraced employing women.
One only hopes such interventions will be enhanced in order to steer women participation in the mining sector. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Police in Pemba have arrested and detained an unidentified middle-aged man for being in possession and attempting to kill a brother over land using homemade muzzle-loader gun. According to Southern Province Deputy Commissioner of Police Alfred Nawa, the suspect attempted to kill the brother following a family dispute over land ownership. Mr. Nawa, who could not name the suspect for fear of jeopardizing police investigations, said attempts by the suspect to kill the brother last night were thwarted by a barking dog, leading to the near victim waking up only to identify the attempted assailant as his brother, who immediately ran away from the scene. He revealed that police are working at identifying the people behind the manufacturing of the homemade muzzle-loader guns if they are to curb the trend. Police launched a manhunt for the suspect, who led them to where he had hidden the muzzle-loader gun, which has become common in rural parts of the Southern Province. And Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa commended the police for their vigilance and pledged to ensure that the department is equipped with the necessary tools to fight the escalating crime levels in the province.
We have come with the officers from division headquarters to assist Pemba so that now this man can lead us to who is providing these guns. I think if we will be able to do that, then these killings will be lessened, because there is a man who is making these guns and is distributing them to these wrongdoers. So this is Alpha, Honorable Minister, what you've done And I just want to appeal to the local community that please let us come and assist each other so that we can make sure that these people are brought to book. And when we do that, the killings that have been happening in here will be lessened. These people live amongst ourselves.
The only thing is that we can say is to commend the police for the job well done, to have tracked down this particular gentleman, and particularly to have recovered this weapon. We think that to end this gun culture, what is important is even to go deeper and get the people with the specialization of manufacturing these guns. Because those who are trained to shoot, it's easy to be trained to shoot and kill out of whatever motivation, whether you've been paid money or it is out of anger, as this dispute suggests to be in this particular issue. But to bring this to an end, we think that police must not rest, work round the clock to get to the people who are manufacturing these guns.
Governance expert Ruben Lifuka has urged the Drug Enforcement Commission to bring the case involving Konkola Copper Mine provisional liquidator Milingo Lungu to its logical conclusion. The Drug Enforcement Commission has arrested the provisional liquidator for Konkola Copper Mines, Milingo Lungu. Mr. Lungu, aged 43, of plot 22763, Mpulungu Road, Roma, has since been charged for obtaining money by false pretenses amounting to $2,200,000 United States dollars. Mr. Lungu has also been charged with money laundering and theft amounting to 110.4 million kwacha and 250,000 United States dollars. And Mr. Lifuka says law enforcement wings must ensure that they do their background work properly and must not be making statements with a view of exciting the general public. He says securing a conviction in such cases must be the ultimate goal in order to deter would-be offenders. And Commission spokesman Matthias Kamanga says that has announced that 6 people have been implicated in the theft of 624,700 kwacha from a mobile network operator in Zambia. Patrick Soko reports.
One could fairly say the country is in a governance cleanup as law enforcement agencies get to serious working mode following pronouncement by the New Dawn government that justice must prevail and the rule of law must be upheld. Under the UPND government, law enforcement wings such as the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Drug Enforcement Commission have been very active, and most people who served in the previous administration are major casualties. Wednesday, 29 September 2021, the Drug Enforcement Commission disclosed that it received a total of 90 reports during this period, of which 3 were received just before the election, while 87 after the general election. Commission Public Relations Officer Matthias Kamanga told a media briefing in Lusaka Wednesday that the Commission has arrested 6 suspects from a named mobile network operator for theft.
A total of 624,700 kwacha, property of the said mobile network operator without lawful authority. The suspects were released on police bond and will appear in court soon.
First of all, we refresh your memories on how the KCM issue started under the Patriotic Front administration led by President Edgar Lungu.
We have served the documents on the mine management. The ZCCM-IH, as you know, commenced a petition against KCM. And the grounds of that petition is that they've lost confidence in the manner that the mine and the business and assets are being managed. So on that ground, they've petitioned the court that the KCM should be wound up for just and equitable reasons. Following that petition, they applied for a provisional liquidator, and I was appointed to be provisional liquidator.
In the meantime, the Drug Enforcement Commission has arrested provisional liquidator for Konkola Copper Mines, Milingo Lungu, for obtaining money by false pretense. Mr. Lungu has also been charged with money laundering and theft amounting to 110.4 million kwacha and 250,000 US dollars.
The allegations are that Mr. Milingo Lungu, jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown, on dates unknown, but between 22nd May 2019 and 15th August 2021 did engage in theft involving 110.4 million kwacha and 250,000 US dollars. It is further alleged that he obtained money by false pretenses amounting to $2.2 million, and he has also been charged for money laundering on the same amounts. The money is said to have come into his possession by virtue of him being the provisional liquidator for Konkola copper mines.
Meanwhile, governance expert Luben Rifuka is optimistic that the D.E.C. has done its homework to be able to bring the matter to its logical conclusion.
So our call to D.E.C., ACC, and all the other law enforcement agencies is to be thorough in their preparations, and they should do this in a professional manner without necessarily playing to the public gallery, just for them to be seen to be working. That's not why they exist. They don't exist to please the public. They exist to ensure justice is delivered.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue The Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Pondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
You can also participate via Zoom at 300 kwacha per day.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN, 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000-182-5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga branch.
For those living abroad, make payments via Wild Remit. The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Provisional liquidator for Konkola Copper Mines in Lungu has been dragged to court by Vanessa Seyuba, the daughter of late former Permanent Secretary for Western Province, Augustine Seyuba, seeking an order that Mr. Milingo distribute the estate of her father in accordance to the Interstate Succession Act. Vanessa Seyuba Mukuma, Ndola civil servant, has cited Mr. Lungu as the defendant. In her originating summons before the Lusaka High Court, Ms. Seyuba states that following the demise of her father, Mr. Seyuba, on the 27th of January 2021, she was not given information regarding the distribution of the estate her father left, despite several attempts of request from Mr. Lungu, who is an administrator of the estate. She is seeking an order that she is a daughter of the deceased and therefore entitled to a share of the estate of the late Mr. Seyuba. She further wants an order that Mr. Lungu produce an oath in court of the full inventory of the estate of the deceased. Lusaka Magistrate Alice Walusiku told prosecutors Wednesday morning to be serious about handling a case in which Economic and Equity Party President Chilufya Tayali is accused of defaming former President Edgar Lungu, as coming to court is traumatizing. This is in a matter in which the 47-year-old politician, who is also a businessman, is alleged to have accused former Republican President Edgar Lungu of sponsoring a Patriotic Front cadre, Innocent Kalimanshi, who he described as a hooligan. When the matter came before the court on Wednesday for commencement of trial, the state requested for another adjournment because of the non-availability of witnesses. Miriam Kayamba reports.
Wednesday morning, Mr. Chilufya Tayali told the Lusaka's Magistrate Court that he was disappointed with the state on how they were delaying his case after they requested for an adjournment because there were no witnesses. Mr. Tayali, who is the leader of an opposition political party called Economic and Equity Party, was dragged to court for the offense of defamation of the president a few months ago after he went live on Facebook and alleged that the former Republican President Edgar Lungu was funding and protecting self-proclaimed Patriotic Front National Commander Innocent Kalimanshi, who he claimed is a personification of hooliganism, violence and anarchy in the nation.
It appears President Edgar Lungu, he is actually the supporter and funder of Kalimanshi. He is the supporter and financer of Kalimanshi. And to say the least, that is hypocritical for a president who has been talking against violence. It's hypocritical because when you look at Kalimanshi, Kalimanshi is a personification of violence, of hooliganism, of anarchy in this country.
Mr. Tayali, who was scheduled to commence trial this morning, was told to appear on the 19th of October 2021 after the state informed the magistrate presiding over the said case, Alice Walusiku, that there are difficulties in tracing the witnesses. But when asked for his response over the state's application to adjourn the case, Mr. Tayali wondered why the prosecution had challenges in securing a witness who is already in prison, Innocent Kalimanshi. He told the court that he hoped the prosecution will be able to make progress in the next court session. Meanwhile, Magistrate Alice Walusiku also cautioned the state to be serious as going to court is traumatizing, and if they fail to make progress, she is going to take necessary action. Mr. Tayali is currently on bail and is expected to appear in court on the 19th of October 2021. Miriam Kayamba reporting for Camnet TV News.
A Lusaka magistrate has convicted and sentenced a 45-year-old businesswoman to 60 months simple imprisonment for brutally assaulting her 6-year-old nephew using an electric cable. This was in a case where Tandi Ufenuka of Garden Chululu was jointly charged with her 35-year-old husband Mulonda Komalo, an electrician, with one count of assault on a child, contrary to Section 248A of the laws of Zambia. Facts before court are that the convict got the 6-year-old victim from the village with a view of taking care of him, but instead she started abusing him. She was reported to the police by neighbors after they noticed that the abuse escalated. And in passing judgment Wednesday morning, Magistrate Alice Walusiku said what the convict did was wrong and should have returned the boy to his parents if she knew that she was not going to manage to take care of him. However, the magistrate released the convict's husband as there was no evidence linking him to the offense. She then sentenced the accused to 60 months simple imprisonment. Indawa Agricultural Policy Research Institute is saddened by the revelation that 3 Malawian nationals were found in possession of fake fertilizer in Chimpangali district of Eastern Province on the 25th of September 2021. In an interview with Camnet News, the institution executive director Chance Kabaye says the implication of this act results in small-scale farmers producing crops that are of low quality. Mr. Kabaye notes with concern that the Zambian market does not only have fake fertilizer but fake seeds as well. More in the following report.
Following the case that occurred on the 25th of September 2021, which saw 3 Malawian nationals that were arrested for selling fake fertilizer to farmers in Chimpangali district of Eastern Province, about 81 bags of fertilizer were sold to a named farmer at 500 kwacha each at Kapasa trading area. Indawa Agricultural Policy Research Institute is saddened by the news of the 3 Malawian nationals found in possession of fake fertilizer in the district. In an interview with Camnet News, the institution executive director, Chance Kabaye, says the implication of this has the capacity of making small-scale farmers produce crops that are of low quality.
Traders in our country and selling fertilizers that are not up to our standards. The implication of such kind of fertilizers is that our small-scale farmers in a given area that have used that kind of fertilizer will produce, the crop that will be not to that high standard. Instead of them producing maybe 5 tons or 4 tons, they may produce less than 1 ton. Which is very unfortunate because a small-scale farmer will have prepared the field, will have bought proper seed, and he will have done his application of the wrong fertilizer and weeded, and that costs him a lot of money. And at the end of the day, he will indeed produce much less than he had put in. So,
Mr. Kabaye has disclosed that the Zambian market does not only have fake fertilizers, but seeds too.
Really, it is not only fertilizer. We have seen also a lot of our own people in this country also selling fake seed. Fake seed is even more pronounced, than fertilizers, fake fertilizers in this country. You can imagine again the farmer having gone through the whole process, uses fake seed and also uses fake fertilizer. That I can guarantee that particular farmer will not even get 500 grams of maize output. So we are really calling upon various institutions. Here we are talking of the police, we are talking of the Seed Control and Certification Institute. We are calling upon the Zambia Bureau of Standards to make sure that the policing, especially during this period, that farmers are receiving their inputs, they are buying their inputs, fertilizer and seed, that what they are buying should be up to the standards approved by this government.
The suspects were arrested after an operation conducted by the Zambia police and other stakeholders. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Elias Mobanga says Zambia is set to see massive construction of colleges and universities aimed at imparting entrepreneurship skills to young people as one way of trying to solve the shortage of white-collar jobs in the country. He made the remarks during a meeting with the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission (CEEC) board on Wednesday. Meanwhile, CEEC board chairperson Mr. Clement Mulenga says the commission is in need of more funding in order to extend its empowerment programs to more youths.
As a ministry working with other institutions and ministries, we will set up school training centers, colleges, will revamp these training institutions like the ones we used to have in the mines. We will do that. Training colleges like Mansa Trades, Livingstone, Kasama, which is Lukasha there, we will revamp so that our young people and the women can be trained first. And the training we want, as I said earlier on, craft certificates for the artisans. I talked about you can't get a bricklayer, a very good bricklayer. When you go out, you can't. Engineering companies in Zambia, they have to get into Zimbabwe to get a coded welder, proper coded welder. Imagine. So
This is Camnet News. We'll take a break. I'll be back with international and sports news.
At Savenda Express Printing, we have the capacity to deliver quality in all kinds of printing services timely. Our lines of production include screen printing, embroidery, lithography, and large format printing. We take pride in delivering quality work at very competitive rates with our in-house, highly experienced and qualified designers. With the ability to print full color and embossing prints, our state-of-the-art screen printing machines are able to print 1,000 pieces per hour. Our embroidery machines are able to print any logo with 1 or up to 12 colors all at once and has an output capacity of 100 pieces per hour. Savenda Express Printing also does large format printing for billboards, banners, vinyl, car stickers, posters, tire covers, cups, pens, bags, flasks, packaging boxes, and well, just anything that can need printing. For inquiries, give us a call on 0960 344 471.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zamtel mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Pondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
You can also participate via Zoom at 300 kwacha per day.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN, 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga branch.
For those living abroad, make payments via Wild Remit. The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Welcome back. And in international news, at least 20 fishermen were killed accidentally in a Nigeria military airstrike on a jihadist camp in northeast Nigeria, two security sources and locals said on Monday. A Nigerian fighter jet early on Sunday bombarded Kwata Daban Masara in Lake Chad, which straddles Nigeria and neighboring Niger, Chad and Cameroon, the sources said. The area is a bastion for the IS-affiliated Islamic State West Africa province. The reports of casualties came less than 2 weeks after officials say another airstrike on a village killed 9 civilians in Nigeria's northeast, where the military is battling a 12-year Islamist insurgency. For more of international news, here's a roundup.
A Nigerian fighter jet early on Sunday bombarded Kwatadamba Masara in Lake Chad, which straddled Nigerian neighboring Chad, Niger and Cameroon. At least 20 fishermen were killed accidentally in the Nigerian military strike on the jihadist camp in northeast Nigeria. Security forces personnel, hunters, fishermen and Boko Haram insurgents all live in the same area. Unfortunately, they found the location of the enemies. The fighter jets started firing immediately, and it was very difficult for them to differentiate between locals and the enemies. They have buried around 10 people now. From what we know, about 3 fighter jets approached us and fired sporadically. In my case, God, in His infinite mercy and wisdom, protected me, but others close to me were hit. ISIS-affiliated Islamic State West Africa province ISWAP recently lifted a ban on fishermen in the territory, leading to an influx of fishermen in the area. Currently, there's no way to differentiate them from the terrorists, according to a local intelligence.
Presenting a united front against a president they say is illegitimate. 4 political parties are warning Kais Saied that he must backtrack on his decision to seize executive power.
The president has taken everything. He has cancelled everything. Even the institution for sorting out these problems, like fighting corruption. All these entities have been closed by the president. There's no parliament. There's no committee for overseeing laws. There's no government.
Demonstrations have already been held against President Saied, who last week announced he'd rule by decree and ignore parts of the constitution. That's after he sacked the Prime Minister and suspended Parliament in July. On Monday, Tunisia's Foreign Minister told the UN General Assembly that the President was acting with the will of the people.
The dangerous situation threatening our country and community is attributed to a deeply rooted political polarization and a socio-economic and health crisis. This is why the President of the Republic had to interfere and take a series of exceptional resolutions and measures based on our constitution to put the country back on the right path towards democracy.
The largest political party, ANNOYS, says the president should call elections to prove he has a mandate.
Why should one person says that he can embody the will of the people? So if he is with the will of the people, if he is expressing the will of the people, he has the authority to call for elections and let the people decide.
Local and international human rights groups are warning of a slide towards authoritarianism. While the developments in July were broadly popular, 2 months on, people are growing frustrated by what they see as a lack of progress. Analysts say that could work in the new coalition's favour.
With the deep economic crisis that we are going to see the effects of it in the upcoming weeks and months, they could seize maybe the opportunity to show that, unfortunately, even by a power grab, even by gathering all the powers, President Saied is unable to fight the real crisis of the Tunisians, that are social problems, economy, etc.
In the 2 months since Kais Saied seized power, political parties and civil society groups here say the president hasn't approached any of them. Now they say they're reminding him again that they're here and that he should talk to them and listen. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Tunis.
It's now time for some sports news. And in sports news, the CHIPOLOPOLO boys have left for Douala, Cameroon for an international camp ahead of the back-to-back clashes with Equatorial Guinea in the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. 14 local players and the technical bench have headed to Cameroon aboard Ethiopian Airlines, with foreign-based players expected to join camp in Douala. The week-long international camp has been organized to ensure that the team acclimatizes with a weather that is similar to the conditions in Equatorial Guinea. Zambia will be away to Equatorial Guinea on October 7 before hosting the Nzalang Nacional 3 days later at National Heroes Stadium. Zambia lies second in Group B with 3 points, while Tunisia tops the pool with 6 points. An organization called Africa on the Ball Wednesday held an education, health, inclusiveness awareness football tournament aimed at encouraging both boys and girls to participate in the games. In an interview with Camnet Sports, Africa on the Ball Executive Director Kelvin Chasauka says the tournament seeks to encourage young boys and girls to go back to school. More in the following report.
Africa on the Ball is sponsoring an under-18 football team, supporting the players' education and helping to develop the community as a whole through volunteering, litter collection, and HIV prevention training. Today, the non-governmental organization held an education, health, inclusiveness awareness football tournament that will see both girls and boys participate in the games. In an interview with Camnet Sports, the executive director says the tournament will encourage young boys and girls to go back to school.
We are doing an education, health, awareness, inclusive football tournament where both boys and girls are playing together so that we can improve the cohesion between boys and girls. Basically, we're doing this simultaneously even in the UK together with Wallace High School, who are our partners for this tournament.
And one of the participants has told Camnet Sports on how she has performed in the tournament.
The tournament is going very well because people are enjoying the tournament. It's fair. We can't say it's not fair, but the tournament is very fair. Everyone is participating in the tournament and they're putting equal points. Have you seen the way the tournament is playing there? They've reached to the point where they are going to choose the ones who are going to play the final play. So we've left with four teams. 2 have already gone out, they've turned out, and we've left with two teams which are soon going to play the final play.
Africa on the Go will go a long way in improving many young people's lives in the country. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet Sports, Lusaka.
To end the news, we'll take a look at the stories making headlines once again. The D.E.C. told to bring Lungu's case to its logical conclusion. The UPND'S stance on CADRES in markets and bus stations annoys stakeholders. Authorities challenged to conclusively investigate the issue of gassing. In international news, Nigeria's army killed 20 fishermen in an airstrike. And in sports news, Chipolopolo off to Senegal for an international training camp. The Camnet World Verse of the day is coming from the book of James 3, verse 13 to 14, and it reads, "Who is wise and has understanding among you? He should show his works by good conduct with wisdom's gentleness. But if you have bitter envy and selfish ambition in your heart, don't brag and deny the truth." My name is Jeffrey Ziambo, and thanks for watching the news. Bye-bye.